Employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. Employees of Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. Employees of Penfield Town Court. An employee of New York State Supreme Court, Alex Renzi. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. In your office tomorrow will arrive via registered mail return receipt from the United States Postal Service these documents here. Sign for your registered mail return receipt, especially you, Julie Sianka, at the Public Defender's Office, and your subordinates, Mark Phillips and Regina Harper. This is what's coming to you. It says ludicrous. Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi. This is me on April 5th. Silence at Monroe County Public Defender Julie Sianka. This is me on April 2nd. Abuse of power, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi. This is me on April 1st. Identification, Sheriff Todd Baxter and District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This is me on March 30th. These four are arriving to these individuals here. Green card, I hope will come back to me for all 13 of these individuals. Tell me the names of my prosecutors. Silence, Perry Duckles, Deputy District Attorney in Monroe County. Tell me the names of my prosecutors. Silence, Public Defender Julie Sianka. And you will continue to refuse because you've refused for 18 plus months. What I just showed you there is going to these individuals here. I hope to all 13 because I'm confident that there are individuals that will send this back to me, even though your entire nauseating, repulsive, sick, corrupt existence is tax dollars. And I'm demanding public information. The public information I'm demanding is disclosure of the names of my prosecutors assigned to every single one of my court appearances. And you're refusing, and this is why you psychopaths are corrupt, in particular at the District Attorney's Office. This is who it's coming to. Sheriff Todd Baxter, 1st to 13th. Captain Scott O'Berty. You, Scott, are at 955 Panorama Trail. I have been there. Deputy Todd Thurston, you also at 955 Panorama Trail. District Attorney Sandra Doorley, your little shack at 47 South Fitzhugh Street. I looked at the payroll. How do you get your 50 or 60 or 75 plus employees in that little shack? Do you have people work from home? Do you have satellite offices? Lisa Gray, the counsel to the district attorney. Lisa Gray, how is a citizen in Monroe County in jail when a prosecutor doesn't talk to court? When you were in law school, counsel to the district attorney, Lisa Gray, and you studied the most famous cases in American history, did you notice that the prosecutor talks in court and accuses the defendant of a crime? And the reason why prosecutors never talked in court for me is I haven't committed a crime, ever. Lisa Gray. Lisa Gray. What are the names of my prosecutors? And you will refuse, just like your sickening, disgusting Mike Knifon clone boss, Sandra Doorley doesn't know if she's a Democrat or Republican. Perry Duckles. Sign for this. And then email me at christopher.chichester@mail.com and tell me, Deputy District Attorney Perry Duckles and your $113,000 salary, the names of my prosecutors assigned to my court appearances. This is the name that I care the most about because she has regulatory power and control over you. It's Psychopaths Incorporated, it's Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, Penfield Town Court, New York State Supreme Court. This is Trinity Ross, United States Attorney for the Western District of New York, who's at 138 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. She also has an office in Rochester. This is a distinguished American citizen. I read her biography. She will be able to see if, in fact, she opens her mail, and I don't know if she's going to open her mouth. She could just blow it off. I have no idea. But if she opens this and watches me on these links I'm going to show, she will see that I'm telling you psychopaths and you nauseating sick hacks at the district attorney's office to tell me the names of my prosecutors, because I will seek their disbarment with the appellate division of state Supreme Court. Quote, the prosecutor's not backing down. You know the name Regina Harper because that's what you said to me. That's the boy, the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy, before this bald-headed wig-wearing widow, Paul C. Metzer from Penfield Town Court. Two people decided I'm going to be in Livingston County Jail in Geneseo. $28,000 bald-headed wig-wearing Paul C. Metzer and his boy. That should never happen anywhere in the United States of America. Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. Which one of you psychopaths at the district attorney's office elevated me to this hack? He's just not any hack over there. He's the supervising judge. 18 judges are over there at the hackocracy. Who did that to me? It has an answer. It's the assistant district attorney assigned to my appearance before him. I'm going to go into more detail about him trying to get into the contents of my head. This is a Dr. Supreme Court Judge Alex Renzi wiggling a 730 on me. One of you forced me in here. It's the prosecutor assigned to my court appearance because I'm at my temporary residence, 70 Liberty Pole Way. I get this document in the mail. I know I have to go in there, and there I am in Monroe County Jail. As I've said previously, I'll use the same language. It's that frightening and that simple to be in jail. One of you psychopaths did that to me, and it's the assistant district attorney assigned to that appearance. Who is it, Perry Duckles? Julie Sianka, Monroe County Public Defender. Do I have to say it? Yes, I do. What are the names of my prosecutors? Julie Sianka, Christopher.Chichester@mail.com. Mark Phillip, what is the names of my prosecutors? Mark Phillips, what are the names of my prosecutors? Regina Harper, what are the names of my prosecutors? Here's what's going to happen. With the public defender, Julie Sianka, Mark Phillips, and Regina Harper, the envelopes I sent to them, they will return to me. They won't open it. And they're going to come back here and hold them up. I'm going to say, I told you so. James Mullen Jr. I go to this defunct gym, PW Fitness. Jermaine Benman walks up, he stands over me, punches down my head, snaps back violently. Who did I just harass, Sheriff Todd Baxter? I should have fought back. I should have attacked Jermaine Benman because it would have prevented what's going to happen to me. This should never happen in the United States of America. It doesn't matter to you, Todd Thurston, about what's going to happen to me. Doesn't matter to you, William Today. It doesn't matter to you, Kathleen Miller. Doesn't matter to you, Scott Alberti. I'm just violently attacked. I did not fight back. I should have. Andrew Reale arrives. He tells me to go out to the vehicle. He knows me because criminal time second round committed that crime because of your $83,000 freak Shannon Meyer. I'm in the back seat of the vehicle. Andrew Reale tells Jermaine Benman what to say to me. He walks Benman around to the side of the vehicle, and Jermaine Lamar Benman says these 7 words to me. I want to press charges against you, and that's how I'm charged with harassment. Second, I was in Monroe County Jail for that. James Mullen Jr., Jermaine Benman has to appear before you because I appear before Lomenzo. Who's the prosecutor, Perry Douglas? Is that Julian or is that not Julian? How many times do I have to demand this of you? I get a subpoena, I sit down, you pimp. This is why Penfield Town Court's corrupt. This is what I'm going to tell the Department of Justice. I have not told them this part yet to Miss Ross. I sit down with a subpoena for Jermaine Benman's appearance before James Mullen Jr. Immediately, one of these hacks at Penfield Town Court, this old lady comes to me and says, are you Christopher Chichester? I said, yes. She said, you can't be here. I'm ordered out of the courtroom for Jermaine L. Benman's appearance before James Mullen Jr. That's because there's a deal between Jessica Wagner at the district attorney's office, James Mullen Jr., and the attorney for this violent dog, Jermaine Benman, to let him go free. Jessica Wagner is no longer employed at the district attorney's office. Am I correct? Perry Douglas? That was a wise decision if she was fired. I do not know if she was fired. Perry Douglas, was Jessica Wagner fired? This is an assistant district attorney who is the defense counsel for a violent criminal. Let him walk right out the door. And I do not yet know if he has a prior criminal record. James Mullen Jr. Does Jermaine L. Benman, who you freed with Jessica Wagner, have a prior criminal record? I'm in the process of trying to find that out. You believe in violence, James Mullen Jr. You're a disgrace. Speaking of a disgrace, how did you get my health care records? Paul C. Metzer. I'm not going to talk about where I went, but you know where I went. In 1996, my former employers, the United States Senate, United States House of Representatives on Capitol Hill, where I worked for Congressman Morris Smith of Texas, Senator Olympia Snow of Maine, passed the Health Insurance Privacy Protection Act to properly protect healthcare records. Because I have a new doctor. I'm at Monroe County Jail, and my new doctor, Dr. Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, decides that I should go to a place, which I'm not going to say right now, where I'm in there with individuals with significant mental health and emotional self-control problems. Because my new doctor, Dr. Sheriff Todd Baxter, decided I should be there. And I was there for 3 weeks and released. Because it was ridiculous for me to be in this facility. I'm sure you could guess what it is. So Paul C. Metzler, you know I was in this facility where I'm not given a 7:30 mental health evaluation because Dr. Sheriff Todd Baxter decided I should be at the facility. Think about what I'm saying, Paul C. Metzler. I don't know anything about your life and your health care. I know absolutely nothing about where you've been, the state of your health, but you know about the state of my health because Sheriff Todd Baxter delivered my health care records to you. How is this possibly explained to the Office of Court Administration, Paul C. Metzler, and the House and Senate Judiciary Committee in Washington, D.C. when I contacted its employees? It can't be explained because, as Elliot Spitzer discovered, corruption cannot be explained. So here I'm back to you, Dr. Sheriff Todd Baxter. So you're getting that right here. These documents here, identification. It's called identification. What the names of our prosecutors. Ludicrous, because it's ludicrous for you not to identify my prosecutors. Silence, Julie Siak, the Monroe County Public Defender, refuses to tell me the name of my prosecutors. And abuse of power. Perfect 3 words to describe your acts as sociopath at the sheriff's office. What I didn't include, because I only had so much time, so much money today, are these two. These are going to come next in the next 48 to 72 hours, these 3. This is really frightening. That one judge can determine guilt or innocence. So when I move back to Albany, which I hope should be soon, state legislation needs to change this law. One judge's corruption of Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra. It's February 20th. If anybody in your family, the District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Office, was sentenced to jail 6 times by one judge when a prosecutor doesn't talk to court, I guarantee you reach the conclusion that's extremism. State legislation needs to change this law. And I believe that they won't because the defense bar in Albany and lobbyists in Albany. And also, I believe that I believe it's called the New York State Sheriff's Association, but I do not know the group that represents all the sheriffs in New York. I believe that they will oppose that too because the sheriffs love one corrupt judge. And the District Attorney's Association, there's definitely a group called the District Attorney's Association. I do not know the umbrella lobbying group of sheriffs, but the District Attorney's Association love one judge. So one judge, corruption of Sheriff Todd Baxter, Sandra drawing February 20th. And here is, again, this is on February 21st. I have no idea if you watch me, Mark Phillips and Regina Harper, but I'm sure you know that I once had respect for you. And that's been obliterated. Because it is. And I'll prove it right now. Mark Phillips and Regina Harper, one of the names are prosecutors, you refuse, and you're sending my mail back to me. Why? How do you look at that envelope and reach the intellectual decision to just send it back to me? You are at the public defender's office, as I reluctantly and belatedly now conclude, de facto employees of the district attorney's office. Your job is to oppose this Leviathan. That's what you're supposed to do. February 24th, 2023. Here's your email, Regina Harper and Mark Phillips, only to you two, and didn't copy anybody. Mail the names of my prosecutor's silence to the address below 620 Park Avenue in Rochester, New York. YouTube for Monroe County Public Defender Mark Phillips, Regina Harper. YouTube for Regina Harper and Mark Phillips in Monroe County Public Defender's Office. And then I have the one judge here. I'm astounded. Language requires precision. I'm not trying to exaggerate, engage in any hyperbole. I'm astounded at you, Mark Phillips, and you, Regina Harper, on February 21st. Just refusing to disclose a name. I'm not asking for any internal documents disconnected from me as a human being. I'm telling you to disclose personal information to me. How do you explain this? If in fact you have to, if somebody asks you, why don't you just tell them the names of prosecutors? If you just hypothetically ask that, what's your response? So, I'm locked out of my residence, 26 Sandra Farm Drive. When I write the criminal complaint about Anthony Ospano, Fairport, New York, doing this to me, locking doors when I'm in jail, Livingston County Jail, I do not know that doors being locked, the locks being changed, sliding glass doors being fixed because I would slide it open, it was broken, and the spare key I had with the New York Mets logo beneath the porch. This 80-year-old Anthony Ospano wanted to lock me out with such a vengeance of the heart. He went underneath the back porch and found this key. This is so old. It has a COVID-19 marker up here. And this is the Tenant Defense, the Legal Aid Society gave me this, pardon me, which is on East Main Street, I believe. No, you're right. It is illegal for your landlord to change the lock, shut off the utilities, or physically remove your belongings without a court order for eviction. There is no court order from eviction. And Anthony Ospano, with assistance of my ex-girlfriend, Laura Riley of Webster, New York, changed the locks because my key didn't work. That's a crime by Anthony Ospano. You will not arrest him because he's 80 years old. Even though when I go into detail about everything that's happened to me, or physically remove your belongings without a court order from the eviction, everything was taken out of my residence and put in a storage locker. When I say everything, I thought everything. My ex-girlfriend did not take my 1,000+ books, Laura Riley. All my books are gone. I have to try to keep it together when I think about all my books being gone. I love the great opus by Robert Caro, The Power Broker, his 1974 Pulitzer Prize-winning book, which is about the state of New York. I do not have that book, which I had in hard copy and hardcover and softcover. This is what you're doing to me, you revolting Shack District Attorney's Office. You disgusting, sickety creeds at the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office. Every single thing I own is gone because of you. I'm being locked out without a court order. All my things being taken to a storage locker. It's now been cleaned out without a court order. Does not matter to you. A life doesn't matter to you at all. And that's a disgrace that a life doesn't matter to you. Life doesn't matter to you either, Julie Sianka.
County Public Defender Julie Sianka. My name is Chris Chichester. I have been in jail 6 times as an innocent man, and 6 times a prosecutor from Sandra Doorley's District Attorney's Office has not talked in court. Monroe County Public Defender Julie Sianka. What are the names of my prosecutors? And I know you refuse to answer. The reason why I know you refuse to answer is your subordinate employees, the Public Defender's Office, Mark Phillips and Regina Harper, returned 10+ envelopes to me. You know what I'm talking about, Julie Sianka? I'm going to take photographs of these envelopes and send it to you. Perhaps I will send these envelopes back to you. I haven't made a decision yet. Where is the morality and the ethics and the decency of Mark Phillips and Regina Harper returning these envelopes to me? I'll tell you where the morality, decency, and ethics for Mark Phillips and Regina Harper it vanished. I used to have tremendous respect for each. And then when I'm demanding of Mark and Regina the names of my prosecutors, they're refusing. When I say demanding, I had to demand. At first I was just asking. I asked Regina Harper directly the name of the 5'2" 3-piece suit boy that has my concocted charges, fiction, and lies before this $28,000 bald-headed widow, Paul C. Metzer in Pemberton Court, and Regina refused to tell me. That's insane. Insane is the word I use over and over. Do you know why, Monroe County Public Defender Julie Sianka? It's a taxpayer-supported public proceeding. And every single prosecutor signed to my court appearances, Monroe County Public Defender Julie Sianka, exists because of the taxpayers. And a fact that sickens me is you know the names. This is not information I'm demanding of you that you don't know, where you can legitimately say, I don't know what you're talking about. You have the names of my prosecutors, and it's one of them, Julie Hahn, who is now on Monroe County Court, who is not the victor. 17% of the vote. The victor is 31% of the vote. This is the corruption that is in Monroe County. Where Julie Hahn is a judge, and she is blown out. Where 1 in 5 voters don't vote for her, because she's at 17%. Is Julie Hahn one of my prosecutors? Monroe County Public Defender Julie Siaka, and you refuse to answer. What goes through the mind of Mark Phillips and Regina Harper and looking at those envelopes and just deciding to return to me? Ask your employees what goes through their minds. Ask them, is you aware that they did this? As I said, I don't know if I'm going to take pictures of these envelopes or I'll just send it back to you. But you will see the likeness of the envelopes. I'm going to tell you 3 of my charges and all 3 are lies. I'm walking through the park lot next to where I used to live at 26 Sanders from Drive. In Penfield, you drive down Penfield Road, you can see the park lot. A man named Nayraj Shah, who's a 50-year-old man who lives with a 7-year-old mother, begins to scream at me. I have this confrontation with him. Then $67,000 Shannon Meyer, the psychopath employed by Todd Baxter, calls me. I speak to her for an hour. I'm saying to her over and over, people walk through this park lot all day long. Why are you calling me? Penfield High School students walk through this park lot. My son friend Adam lived next to me, walked through this park lot. The elderly woman across the street from me walks through this park lot. This is how they set me up for criminal attempt second. I speak to Shannon Meyer. She wants to arrest me. She tells me named Steve Devs at a Broccoli Tree in Lawn Care, ride your tractor by the residence, 26 Sands Farm Drive. Get this Christopher Chichester to come out of the residence. If he does, we're going to arrest him. This is a lunatic fringe. Julie Siaka. I come outside and I say to Desmond, a Broccoli Tree in Lawn Care, nobody knows Atlanta. I walk back to my residence. Do you think that's a crime? Do you think that's criminal?
You think that's a crime? You think that's criminal contempt? I'm going to tell you what the answer is, Perry Duckles, and you have a psychopath sheriff's office. The answer is no. Okay, nobody owns the land. My residence. Walk back to my residence. And there I am standing on my front lawn in handcuffs because of this nauseating, sickening, vile act. Then $67,000 Shannon Meyer was awarded with a $16,000 raise. She's telling employees at the sheriff's office she wants to arrest me. That's why 6 of you fellow psychopaths, Sheriff Todd Baxter, are at my residence. It's not a crime for me to walk outside, tell Steve Desmond or anybody, nobody owns the land next to my residence. And nobody owns the land next to my residence. I stopped playing that because I'm not going to go into the details about harassment, second one, violently attacked, and Don Benedetto and Michael Houlihan stalking me in Penfield and charging me with attempted felony assault on my back porch. I'm not going to talk about that either because that's in your office. I've talked about that numerous times. Because I only have so much time here on this Google product that is YouTube. What are the names of my prosecutors? Deputy District Attorney Perry Duckles. And you will continue to refuse and crave in silence. It's one of these freaks, right? This is the district attorney's office payroll. Who's the freak? I have multiple freaks. Who are the multiple freaks assigned to my court appearances before John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Court, for Paul C. Matson in Penfield Court, and who's the freak that decided to elevate me to Alex Renzi here? So Todd Baxter was paid $132,000. I think you got a cost of living raise or something, but you were paid $32,000. So in the district attorney's office, where nobody elected you hacks, sociopaths, to anything, is Matthew Schwartz at $135,000. Michelle Crowley, who indicts me when I don't know the grand jury's convened and Michael C. Houlihan perjured himself, you're paid $131,000. Sarah Van Strydick, $131,000. Monica O'Brien, $117,000. Meredith Smith, $110,000. Raymond Benitez, $131,000. Alyssa Truelove, $107,000. Robin Catarato, $135,000. Elizabeth Bucky, $131,000. Michael Harrigan, $135,000. Michael Beazer, $113,000. Gregory Clark, $114,000. Jennifer Hyde, $124,000. Christine Fantiuzzo, $61,000. Pardon me, that's not a $100,000 hack. Amanda Bowling, $124,000. Eleanor Biggs, $118,000. Scott Miles, $120,000. Charles Dominic, $107,000. Patrick Gallagher, $124,000. Rachel Clark, $124,000. Bianca D'Angelo, $114,000. Jennifer Kennedy, $111,000. You're fleecing taxpayers at the district attorney's office, Perry Duckles. Go to your corrupt boss, Sandra Doorley. She's not in the hospital. She's in the office. and tell her she's fleecing taxpayers. $100,000 salary is not the gold standard anymore. But I've looked at a public employee payroll. There's nobody making $100,000. It's a long time ago. There's still not anybody making $100,000 like you hacks, sociopaths, in the district attorney's office. On a congressional staff, there's nobody making $100,000. Nobody made $100,000 on a congressional staff. Nobody made $100,000 when I worked for the majority leading government. I think that's still the case today with the overwhelming number of employees. But here you $100,000 psychopaths, one after the other. And which one of you psychopaths are my prosecutors? So I'm going to come back on here since I have no clothes. All my clothes are gone. And the next time I'm going to be, this is where I bought it at the Goodwill. I got this for $4. It's an XL. I'm going to wear this here. And I'm going to keep that tag on there. And as I talk with this tag from this clothing that I bought for the Goodwill for $4, I'm going to remind you hacks and sociopaths at the Monroe County District Attorney's of Sandra Doorley, Monroe County Sheriff's Office Todd Baxter, Penfield Town Court, New York State Supreme Court, that I don't have any clothes. And I had to buy this at the Goodwill because of you hacks and sociopaths. Coming to my residence, the man, my little guy. I'm going to be contacting Lollipop Farm Humane Society soon. I've talked in detail about it. I'm not going to go into this again. This is the thing that really delivers me to a mindset where I can approach rage. I try not to have rage. I definitely have anger. This is between anger and rage. This gets me to the point where I really am thinking about, am I in a rage? 4,000 times in 7 years, I walked my little guy in Penfield, and there's 2 Monroe County Sheriff Office employees demanding my dog. And this is because of Layla Kumar Shah and Nayraj Shah, who I'll file criminal complaints about me walking through this parking lot with $67,000 Shannon Meyer sets me up. It's not a crime to walk through this parking lot. This is an attorney, this hack. Nayraj Shah lives with his mother, and he should be disbarred. And I'm going to pursue a disbarment for attorney Sandra Doorley of Webster, New York. And that's not ludicrous. That's not ridiculous. You are unleashing your disgusting, vile, sick district attorney's office that I view the same way as I did the mafia in New York City. And you're refusing to tell me the names of your disgusting, vile, sick assistant district attorneys assigned to my court appearances. Ridiculous. So the guy on his tractor that comes by at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning for Broccoli Tree and Lawn Care is wearing these on his head because the tractor's so loud. My neighbors and I would talk about this Broccoli Tree and Lawn Care. The guy on his tractor's wearing this. That's how loud it is. And I used to mow the lawn on Long Island in the 70s and 80s when my father told me to mow the lawn. It was a conventional lawnmower. I'm amazed. I saw this again today about individuals or these lawn mowing companies up on these gigantic tractors and the noise that they make, and how this is not more of an issue. And perhaps it is, and I don't know, but it was an issue for me. It's not a crime to tell a man on his tractor that nobody owns the land next to my residence, especially when Timothy Murphy, the Monroe County Office of Real Property Tax Services, can't confirm it. So when I was attacked at the Penfield Public Library by Richard J. Seaman, I had to go back to the sheriff's office. Andrew Reale took me there, and I'm walking around for weeks without my ID. And I was really concerned that I wasn't going to get it back, but this is my United States Department of Veterans Affairs ID, and I don't show this for narcissism. Andrew Reale took me back to the sheriff's office and got my personal possessions, and included this. It's no matter how you live your life, being a veteran, nothing special, there's tens of millions of veterans, but I did my 3 years, and I served my country. I held up my DD-214 in a previous YouTube. This is what's really frightening, the reason why I hold this up. These corrupt judges in Monroe County, Paul C. Matthew, John P. Lenzer Jr., James P. Lenzer Jr., Penfield Town Court, Alex Renzi at the Hackocracy at the New York State Supreme Court, it does not matter to them how a citizen who is a defendant for the first time lives their life. At all. And it should. So, this is called Refusal. Psychopaths like the color red. Because you're going to refuse to tell me the names of my prosecutors. And that's an absolute, complete, and total disgrace. Over and over, I'm demanding this information from you. It's in your office. You sign for it. Refusing every time. William Tadeo, Scott Alberti, Kathleen Miller, Michael Rather, go to your boss and tell him to fire this nauseating, disgusting hack, Shannon Meyer. Not because she's a nauseating, disgusting hack. Because moving forward, this cretin does not know what constitutes a crime. And if she's putting the screws to me like this and violating my civil and constitutional rights, Shannon Meyer is going to do this to other innocent citizens. And that doesn't matter at all to any of you. So, here it is again. 13 of you are receiving this. Called identification. I'm going to hold up the one that means the most to me with the perfect word. Here, identification. What are the names of my prosecutors? Here, this is where you can reach me. And send the arrest warrant there too, because I'll be in jail again, because all it takes is one of you hacks, sociopaths to write the warrant. I'll be followed, stalked, and tracked. You'll put the handcuffs on me, and then I'm going to be in jail again. I'm going to languish in jail. Just keep me in jail as long as you want. And I'll have this as a record saying this is going to happen to me. Tell me the names of my prosecutors. Christopher Chichester, 620 Park Avenue, PNB number 361, Rochester, New York. And you will refuse. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. You, Sheriff Todd Baxter, you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, you, Paul C. Metzler and James C. Money Jr., Pathtown Court, you, Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court, are a threat to justice everywhere.